Alright, Travis Wayne Goodsell. Conference is over. And the second video is being delayed in processing because they're sneaking in checks. God. Oh, look at that. Now it stops. Longer to do the 5% than it was to do the 95. So, the Great and Abominable Church, all you have to do is acknowledge that the Book of Mormon is true, and you know exactly who the Great and Abominable Church is. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Book of Mormon's true. Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the Great and Abominable Church of the Devil. Ba-bing! The Church of Babylon. Notice Nelson brought up Babylon. He tried to say it was the world. Notice Babylon was not decoded in Doctrine and Covenants, section 1, verse 16. As Joseph is talking about Mormons, because they're the only ones that can do those events in verses 14 and 15. And so what is Babylon? Yeah, it's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Great and Abominable Church, the whore of Babylon, as John the Revelator calls it. So there Nelson was, the leader, the presiding president, prophet, seer, revelator, and not translator of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Great and Abominable Church, Babylon, the whore. Deceiving Mormons, as he's again reiterating, don't listen to anybody else, we're the source of pure truth, as he talked in an earlier session. He just lies. And notice how he then said that because we're the true church and you need to get the Spirit not from social media with Travis, or the news, which is supposed to report facts. They're not supposed to give opinion. Why is Nelson telling us to stay away from the news? Last time he did it, he was exposing that he worked with Russia and got $32 billion from them. What is he up to now? So, oh yeah, peril in the coming days ahead. It means he has foreknowledge. Remember, he's the false prophet. He doesn't get true revelation. He doesn't get true prophecy. He's a fraud. So it's not prophecy he was giving, which was pretty piss poor in and of itself because of its vagueness, veiled message, and generalization. It means he has knowledge of the specific perils that are coming and is not stopping it. Notice in the last video that just got saved, or the first one, the Nelson one about the magic underwear, I listed what I knew to be perils that are coming. I'm not the prophet, and yet I foresee perils coming, and I name them. Not because I am going to cause them. They're out of my hands. But I see them coming as a consequence. But Nelson, Mr. Oh, we knew about coronavirus because we contacted China and we kept the church open until we were ordered to by our Mormon governor, who then felt guilty and made sure to open us up too early so that the church can get back in business again. No. See, Nelson has foreknowledge of who's going to cause the peril. And if it's not him as part of the cause, he's aiding and abetting, most likely through funding of it. So this is what happens when you're exposed for being a fraud. You know, when you catch your husband cheating on you, all of the times before you exposed him, you now go, oh, okay, he wasn't at work staying late. He was at her house or at the hotel or whatever. Oh, when he came home with all those flowers and he said it was just 'cause, which he hadn't done in years. Because there's a difference, because a guy can actually love you and give you flowers on a somewhat regular basis. It doesn't mean he's cheating on you. It's when he's out of character. And unless he says, I feel bad that I have not done this more often for you, and so I'm hoping I can start a better habit. He's being honest with you. Nelson is not being honest with us. He's covering something up. He has foreknowledge of what and who and when in the coming days. And he's not telling us. He's keeping it a secret, a sacred secret. That is disturbing, because we all now know he is the leader of the great and abominable church, Babylon the whore. It was just exposed this past week, the little black book of members of the secret combination of the latter days. And Mormons are in that book, and Mormons are affiliated directly with members in that book. Oaks, I went over with you, is affiliated with those in that book. So the Great and Abominable Church is working with a secret combination. And what did I tell you? The Book of Mormon is true. And yet I'm now seeing Mormons coming to the videos I'm doing, going, oh no you don't, Travis. How dare you? Church is true, so they don't commit crime. They're good and true. No, guys. You should all be fearing and trembling. People aren't as excited about my TWG and Travis Wayne Goodsell is back video. It's the conference ones that people are excited about. 96 in almost one day for the LDS October 2021 second session. And I just did the one with the magic underwear first, which was second. First shall be last, last shall be first. And then put up the review of the first Sunday session. You've got some splaining to do. If anybody remembers I Love Lucy, as Jesus splaining was all over the place in that session. And you splaining, but I go over that. You'll have to watch it. Because if I have to explain all my videos, every single video, but yet, without fail, there will always be those Mormons who don't bother to check other videos. And because of the information that's not in every single video, they'll make a stupid comment exposing their ignorance. And so yes, Nelson says that the world is Babylon. That which you falsely accuse in others reveals the same and worse fault in yourself. Again, proven true by President Russell M. Nelson of the Church of Babylon, the whore. And you know, because he's enforcing keeping the Sabbath day holy. What? The Egyptians, every day was holy. The people could worship God every day, not the seventh day of the week, which Constantine tried to get it to the first, and it took some time and some centuries until people finally, well, some people finally did away with the Saturday Sabbath. But Babylon, again, Nelson, I mean, seriously, the president of the whore of Babylon blames the world for being Babylon when he himself is telling Mormons to follow Babylon and the Babylon holy days of the Sabbath on the seventh day, which is now the first, on Sunday, on the day of the sun. You just, it's unbelievable. I mean, we got Nelson, who, hey, we're working with Russia. We're conspiring against America to destroy it with Russia. We're funding them, and they're funding us. Quid pro quo. Collusion. We're doing away with, the high priest group. That's gone. Home teaching's gone. We're replacing it with ministering. In other words, if somebody complains, we'll send some men over to deal with your problem. and Sunday school, cut in half. Taking out an hour of church, changes the temple. Women now obey the prophet to obey their husband. And the law of chastity now has polygamy all set, ready to go. And then magic to cure coronavirus, which then led to our governor, Mormon governor, saying, oh, doTERRA, it's unhealthy, especially for kids, according to medical doctors, but hey, it'll cure coronavirus in kids. Yeah, so injecting yourself with disinfectants, but you'll die. This is unbelievable. Oh yeah, he came out and said, I'm the Antichrist, when all of you were complaining about him saying that you were lazy learners. He declares himself the Antichrist, but distracted you with lazy learners so that you would miss it. God, you guys fell for it. And so, yeah, it's the idol worshiping of spirit. That idols, objects, have moral, spiritual, ethical powers, either for good or evil, and can bestow them on us. And so he's saying, don't listen to Travis. Listen to me with a covenant path that Babylon is the world. So keep the Sabbath day of Babylon. And don't listen to Travis on social media. Don't listen to the news of what they're going to talk about. Listen to us, who are lying, deceiving, and covering things up from you. And don't watch books. Don't read books. Only the Book of Mormon, only scriptures. Stay away from books. He's calling for the banning of books. Calling for the banning of news. That's in the scriptures. Be acquainted with all good books. Learn of what's going on in the world. And Nelson just told you that that revelation is false. And yet he wants you to stick with the scriptures. And to follow the scriptures to get the Spirit. He's purposely being contrary to the doctrines and precepts in the scriptures, just like the Great and Abominable Church. And Mormons still don't get it. So 13 temples. Again, it's a land grab. He knows something's coming. And so he purchases the land so that after it happens, governments are destroyed, people are looking for leadership, church says, oh, hey guys, we're filthy rich, we'll be your governors, we'll run your government, your land. Babylon, the whore. The kingdom of Babylon, huh? Okay. And so Anderson, well, there are 2 70s I had notes on. The 170 said, if you don't read the Book of Mormon, you're as bad as Attila the Hun. Oh my God. Murder denies you exaltation. Attila the Hun was a genocidal murderer. So now if you don't read the Book of Mormon, you're as bad as Attila the Hun and will go to the Celestial Kingdom. Not reading the Book of Mormon. Now me, I read the Book of Mormon. I even did the video. Read the damn Book of Mormon. That got a lot of people's attention. Because it's true. It exposes the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as the Great and Abominable Church. The other 70 said that Mormons must repent. They're sinning if they smoke. It's just a word of wisdom. Oh my God. It was Brigham who, despite making it a commandment, was himself involved in the brewery and tobacco industry to supply the brothels. And now, look at this. Look at the church now. Oh, you're a sinner if you're smoking. It's a word of health. That's it. That's all. It has nothing to do with spirituality. Again, spirituality comes from you being able to tune in to the thoughts that you have and reproducing them in the flesh. Seed becoming physical reality. Fruit. And yet Mormons are stuck on seed and the feelings about the seed. Oh, it's a beautiful seed. It's so true. I love the seed. And they won't plant it to produce the fruit, so that it'll be a beanstalk that goes up into outer space where the giant lives in his castle with wealth that they're able to steal and finally buy the medicine for the sick kid. Oh dear God. So Anderson, yeah, like I told you I was right. I told you this is exactly what the church was doing with the name of the church. Their whole thing was all about controlling the narrative to silence guys like me and other critics for using Mormon and LDS so that they can have the algorithms rigged in their favor, whether it be social media or the website. They had to purchase the domain sites. Oh, and they magically became available when Nelson wanted them. Yeah, I'm sure there were no Mormons working in computer tech who didn't crash those sites so that they could be available. Oh man. Or do extra purchasing to sell them, or to get those people to sell them, threatening them with computer hacking. Dear God. But yeah, and also he exposed other reasoning for this, is that it puts a focus on the church, not on other people talking about it, but also he is demanding, the church is demanding that they be Christian and they be accepted as Christian. That example he gave of the person who refused to allow that other person to get him to say, yes, we're Mormon. Oh, so you're a Christian. Oops, you fell into the trap. Christians are those who believe that Constantine established Jesus as a real historical figure, and that he doesn't exist, as he's not real, because he's not natural, he's not real. He's not real. There's no word for it. It doesn't exist. He created Homoousius. And that as Christians, all their creeds establish what a Christian is. The Nicene Creed, making Jesus being the first. Constantine is the cornerstone who created Jesus on top. Notice he talks about the logo. Jesus created on the cornerstone of the church, being the one that created Jesus. Oh, but it's got the name of Jesus, therefore it's Jesus' church, even though we're creating Jesus. That's a circular fallacy. I went over that when Nelson pulled that stunt in that conference. But notice Anderson ignored the cornerstone. He wouldn't talk about the cornerstone of the church that built Jesus on top of it. But it's exactly what Constantine did. They want to be Christian. They demand. They get angry because Jesus is angry. Even though Uchtdorf says we can't get angry and contend. Who was it that said that? Was it Renwick? Let's see. Contended with anger. Yeah, Renwick. It's just unbelievable. So that's why Russ I was helping him out. I would be providing him with the conference talks in digital format for him for his storage devices because of his physical disability. But he chose to attack me using Jesus as his justification to attack me. As I did nothing wrong, I've been helping him this whole time. And he chose to attack. He wanted me gone. Because I'm not going to church. And that I said the Mormon church. I didn't use the full name now. And he chose to contend with anger and demand I leave. There's no place for me in Utah. We are in a housing emergency. I can't just go. I don't have the money and there's no place for me that I can afford. He was a religious bigot because of Nelson's influence. Just like the Mormons who attack me on my social media channel, who contend with anger. You're religious bigots. I contend against lies that lead to your death. I expose the church for their crimes. They are fleecing you. All I'm doing is trying to save you and protect you from the wolf in sheep's clothing. Remember false prophets? Wolves in sheep's clothing? By their fruits ye shall know them. And so, yeah, they're demanding the world accept the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as Christian, knowing full well that using the full name is not good for their titles of their articles. It screws things up. Articles need to be kept as short as possible. And the church doesn't care. The media is the enemy of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So, that's it. That's all. I got the two on Travis Wayne Good, or TWG. I still need to put them on Travis Wayne Goodsell, but TWG gets more views. But Travis Wayne Goodsell gets more likes. So, that's conference for you. So, it was the previous thing that he was talking about for the big threat that you needed to obey the church, and he wouldn't even tell you what it is, other than you have to wear your magic underwear, because whatever's coming, your magic underwear is going to save you. And so, is it a physical threat by a foreign enemy who's going to search to see who's Mormon? By stripping us of our clothes and going, oh, okay, no, you have the Mormon underwear, you're good to go. We've already made a financial pact with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to destroy America. Is that what it is? Dear God, if it is.